2025, Western Albemarle High School Principal Jennifer Sublett received a flyer from the student president of Turning Point USA Club at Western Albemarle High School, announcing that the club wished to host Ms. Kimberly Cobb as a guest speaker on the topic of two genders, one truth. Ms. Sublett contacted school board legal counsel and me to discuss whether the event could occur during the lunch period. I advised her that the event should be moved to after school out of concern that it might spill over into the instructional time and disrupt the remainder of the school day. At that time, I did not ask whether the club had previously hosted guest speakers during lunch without incident, and the decision was made without that information. The next day, September 26th, the Founding Freedoms Law Center sent a letter to Albemarle County Public Schools asserting that the decision to restrict the event to after school hours constituted viewpoint discrimination. The letter referenced the Equal Access Act and constitutional law and requested written confirmation by October 3rd that the club could host a speaker during lunch. The Equal Access Act is a federal law enacted in 1984 that requires public secondary schools to provide equal access to all student groups when they allow any student group to meet on school premises during non-instructional time, regardless of the religious, political, or philosophical content of their speech. So on September 30th, after further consultation with Mr. Black, legal counsel, and Ms. Sublett, I reviewed the facts and our past practices related to lunchtime speakers. We found that not only had other student clubs hosted lunchtime speakers without incident, but the Turning Point USA Club itself had also done so previously without disruption. Acting under my advisement, Ms. Sublett determined the Turning Point USA Club will host this presentation during lunchtime, as it had before and as other clubs have been doing. I provided an update to the school board, noting that the club's next meeting was scheduled for October 22nd and that the speaking event was tentatively planned for early November. October 1st, we sent out a draft community message and was prepared to clarify that student clubs are permitted to invite guest speakers and that the WAHS clubs have previously hosted speakers during lunch. The principal's determination that the TP USA Club may proceed during the lunch period was made in consultation with school board counsel, Mr. Black, and me. The event date has not yet been set. We did recently respond to several media requests, so there's probably a lot of media out there about this, and you can look at that. Our responses reference our own policy, IGDA, which references student organizations. It provides equal access for student groups during non-instructional time and reaffirmed that our decision was consistent with constitutional law and long-standing division practice. I also want to clarify that there was no and there has not been a reversal of Albemarle's position. After reviewing the facts in consultation with legal counsel and me, the principal approved the event for the lunch period subject to expectations of order and respect. The rationale for permitting the guest speaker is that under constitutional law, public schools must grant student organizations equal access to meet during non-instructional time and to invite guest speakers, provided the events do not materially or substantially disrupt instruction or infringe on the rights of others. Once any student organization has been permitted to invite guest speakers, all student organizations must be afforded the same opportunity under the Equal Access Act. And finally, our own policy, teaching about controversial issues, states, the school board welcomes the study of controversial issues and encourages students to examine multiple sides of such issues critically, intelligently, and with respect for the opinions of others. So consistent with this policy and with our practice of equal access, the Turning Point USA Club's request met the criteria for approval. The event will take place during non-instructional time, and the principal has established clear expectations for respect and orderly conduct. In anticipation of the event, our School Safety Services Department will coordinate with Ms. Sublett and her administrative team to ensure that our protocols are in place for heightened security. Additionally, by holding the presentation during the lunch period rather than after school, we can restrict attendance by outside visitors, which we would not have been able to do as easily after school, further enhancing student and staff safety. Thank you, Dr. Acuff.
Thank you, Dr. Hawes.